Guys, what's up? How's everyone doing today? Hopefully everyone's doing well. It's Friday, May 1st. It's a new month, 10:14 a.m. First live stream of the day. Currently watching game 6 of New York versus Atlanta. Atlanta's down by 50 with 3 minutes left in the second quarter. It's insane. I've never seen a playoff blowout like this. Atlanta at home is getting beat by 50 in the first half. Absolutely insane. Anyway, we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of fights coming up. I'm going to leave this live stream open for you guys. You guys, all the JSB insiders, people joined on Patreon, YouTube. 7 tickets are live. You guys should have all those. If you have any questions about your parlays, props, underdogs, feel free to ask. I'll take your questions. If you're not in the Discord, if you're not a JSB insider, it's a couple bucks a month. Become part of our growing professional betting community. It's not just boxing in there. It's all pro sports. You get my parlays, picks. You become part of our awesome tight-knit community. We're approaching 500 VIPs. We started this in August. So it's growing immensely, and we're excited about it. Click that link. I'll leave it pinned in the comments section. You can either join here on YouTube or Patreon. As I'm saying that, we got a new JSB insider, Douglas Walters, became a JSB insider. He has access to the Discord. He says, where do I find the Discord link? I will post it after this live stream. I'll post it in the member section. If you go to my channel, you'll see YouTube's member section. You'll see the post there. How do you feel about Tia Ayton? Tia Ayton, I'm not betting on Tia. Tia Ayton is I think 19-year-old prospect. She's a UK British girl. She's had, I think, 3 pro fights. I'm not betting on her. There's so much good action, and just for me personally, historically, I only bet Gabby Fundora by knockout. That's the only girl I'll bet to win by knockout. There's two certainties in female boxing. Most all female fights go the distance. The other one, when Gabby fights, take her to win by stoppage. I'm not betting Tia Ayton. She's a 18-1 favorite. What's your confident underdog? Yeah, so I have a few underdogs. Most confident, let's see, 3 underdogs I have action on. Jorge Chavez. I'm probably most confident with Jorge Chavez. I got him at plus money, plus 110. I'm confident with, who are the other 2? I'll pull the tickets up. Jin Sasaki. I'm confident in all the dogs, but anything could happen. Anything could happen. You know this game. You know the game we play. Let's check out the dogs real quick. Let's go through it all real quick. What I'll do is I'll pull up. These are the current fights that my book is offering. So wherever you are, pull your book out. This is a sports bet here in Sydney. So I'll zoom in for you. This Samuel Carmona versus Rodrigo Ramirez. This fight goes down in Spain. My book is offering it. I'm not going to take action on it. David Whitmire. This guy, he's been getting publicity. He's been getting promoted. $1.22. He should win this fight. I don't know if I had this fight. I think this fight just got offered on my books, but I would throw him on a parlay if you guys were playing that game. I think the A sides are pretty much going to win on this Pro Box card. I like Whitmire. Let's see if you just do. Yeah, Whitmire. The odds aren't that good. Whitmire, Francois Scarborough. If you haven't seen Francois Scarborough fight, he's an interesting prospect coming out of the U.S. I like Erdenbot to beat Kobe Breedy. Levels in that fight. Erdenbot's going to be a level or 2 above Breedy there. Breedy's a decent domestic guy. And now we're in Japan. Tomoka versus Tanaka. I'm not playing that fight. Look, there's at least 4 to 5 really good value fights that I have a lot of investment in. So what I always tell you guys, I talk about this all the time. The best bet is the one that we don't make. And don't find yourself, as I'm scrolling, I'm just kind of giving you guys a rundown of what I like. You don't have to bet on every fight. That's a fool's game. Thinking that you have to get action on every fight is a fool's game. The worst feeling in the world is when you've hit you're doing these parlays and 5 hit and the 6 doesn't hit. We see that happen all the time. So one of the strategies and skills of being a good, consistent bettor and winning consistently is knowing what fights to lay off of. There's some Japanese fights I'm not betting just for that exact reason. I'm not playing and I know Tanaka should win here. I haven't done my due diligence to even put these on my parlays. Now, I woke up this morning. This one, I'm not gonna lie to you. I might have sprinkled a half a unit on Duke No Yin. I posted this in the Discord, and I want to give a shout out to BZ the Hoodie. Shout out to BZ the Hoodie in our Discord, and on the live stream, his name is the One Tay. I woke up this morning and he messaged me. He goes, "Yo, Johnny, what's up? I found a dog at plus 380, so I got him at plus 425. More experience, can punch, everything we look for. It's worth a look." So when I pulled this up, if you want to pull this up and do your own due diligence, this is a rematch, right? The South Korean, who's a plus 420, he has 15 pro fights. I'll just pull it up. Let me show you something. Deek No Yoon. So this will be his 14th pro fight. So this is the kid who's a plus 400 dog, right? He's 10-2-1. He's been stopped once. Of his 10 wins, 8 of them come by way of knockout. His opponent, in which it's a rematch, so he is a plus 400 dog against a guy that he already fought. I'm just telling you guys, look into this fight. This is the favorite. He's 1-0-1. The draw is the same kid that he's fighting. He's an amateur. He's a Japanese Olympian. This is his third pro fight. So I'm not gonna lie. I sprinkled on the dog here. I got a little action. I took the South Korean. I think I think value. It's a good fight to look into. Good fight to look into. Off topic, but I remembered you posted a short before Inoue versus Cardenas of an insider talking about Cardenas sparring Bam and melting under pressure, which happened to Inoue. I think you deleted it. Ah, you have a good memory. Ramon messaged me. You have a good memory. Ramon messaged me because he said he disputed. He found me on Instagram and he disputed the fact that and that was my boy James. Shout out James Dominguez. James Dominguez, one of my, James Dominguez is a guy that I know from Youngstown, Ohio. I grew up with. Shout out to James, Texas kid. Military dude. Was in Desert Storm. Boxer. Grew up with RGBA, the boys out in California, and he was part of. I met him through Pavlik Kelly when Kelly did his last few fights as a pro out west with RGBA. He linked up with James, and him and James had a podcast during the pandemic called The Punchline. And James is the one who said that. And you know what? I deleted it because Cardenas asked me to delete it, and I didn't want to. And I'm the type of guy, I'm not going to push back on it. But you have a good memory, bro. Shout out to my man. With the Munguia fight being a tough pick, how do you like? With the Munguia fight being a tough pick, how do you like to go the distance? I took Resendez at plus 140. So the way my mindset works is as soon as my picks are locked in, especially when it's a dog, my thinking stops. So I don't really have an opinion on if it goes the distance or not. I just have Resendez winning. So that's on you. It could both guys have been. We saw Armando get stopped before against Elijah. We saw Munguia get stopped before against Bruno. Munguia's stoppage was more recent. If you're looking at trajectory of fighters, what have you done for me lately? Well, they're both coming off decision victories, but Munguia is the one that I feel when you have to ask yourself, are his best days behind him? Probably, maybe. I don't like writing fighters off. and I've always liked watching Munguia. I know it's not popular, but he's very determined in there. And Resendez is a guy that I'm going with based off of camps. You know, obviously what he's looked like recently, his preparation. I just like the work that he's done with Coach Manny Robles. And that to me is an X factor. And what we do when we're betting our money on boxing, we look for X factors, we look for edges. That's the edge. It's up to you if you want to take the outcome. I'm not playing the outcome. You think Takuma? I do. I do. I like Inoue's most recent form. You know, Ioka's 37 years old, turning 38. I think where this fight is trending, a lot of these fights, guys, we have to ask ourselves when we're doing our film study, when you know you're seeing what you're seeing, you're doing your stylistic matchup, you're finding method of victories. Another element of when your decision making process should be where is each fighter trending? You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure Takuma just turned 30, coming off. I, you gotta say, you gotta ask yourself, where is this fighter trending? What have you done for me lately? He just turned 30, coming off a big win against. And at the time, the Tenshin Nasukawa win was a good win for the people who knew how good Nasukawa was. But I don't think anybody expected Nasukawa to look that good against El Gallo. And so, from what we've seen from Takuma beating Nasukawa, Nasukawa's next fight looking that good against El Gallo, that win ages spectacularly. You mix that with Ioka, the wars he's been in, the tread on the tires, 37 turning 38. I think the Takuma Inoue's pick is a safe bet. Erdemont decision. If you could get odds on that, if you could get that option, let me check. I don't know if I'm getting the option, but I'll bring it up for you. And I did play the dog here, boys. I put this up in the Discord. I'm taking I took the South Korean plus 425. We already covered that though. Atlanta is down by 50 with a minute left in the first half. That is absolutely insane. New York has 83 points in the first half. It's 83 to 34. All right, guys. Shout out to Suck My Opinion. I'm going to give you guys another ticket. I'm going to do a Pro Box Method of Victory parlay. Erdembont on points. I don't mind it. The odds are good. The odds are in your favor. It doesn't pay that well. If anything, it's only paying 53% return. I'm gonna play that, but you got to give me a couple hours. Check all the JSB insiders. Pay attention to the Patreon today, and pay attention to the YouTube member section. I'm gonna post. I'm gonna do a Pro Box Method of Victory parlay, and I'm gonna do one more. I think I'm gonna do a safety net parlay because I gave you guys my long parlay already. You guys have a lot of tickets to play with. And look, I know some of you guys like tailing my picks, which is great. You could do that. Obviously, I'm invested in it. You know, I put all my money in it as well. I'm not just showing you it's not like one of these things I'm telling you who I like. I'm showing you my tickets, so you know I'm invested in it. Yeah, I think I'm going to do two more for you guys. Shout out to Boxing Fan. Guys, wherever you are in the world, we're about 15 minutes in. We're floating between 40 and 50 in here, which is great. I'm going to stay on for at least an hour like I always do. If you're new to the channel, I say welcome. We do daily live streams every day, taking your questions about the upcoming fights. We got UFC fights as well, so if you have any questions there, I can answer them. I gave you there's a 3-leg UFC parlay that's up in the Patreon. I'm gonna do at least two more tickets. I have a UFC dog I'm gonna pick, and then I have a safety net parlay, and then a Pro Box Method. So I might do three more. There's a lot of action. Jerry for the dog double. Yeah, do them, bro. This is what I'm saying, Jerry. This is what I'm saying. So what I do, I show you my plays, right? Some of you guys like to copy them, which is great. More than anything, it's like I lay out on the table. It's like all of the tickets I have. Pick and choose if you want. If there's a fight that I like that you're questioning, or the odds maybe on your book aren't as good, you don't have to play it. But I know a lot of you guys would do this too. Like I have a double dog parlay with Jorge Chavez and is it Sasaki? Let me check. No, I have Jorge Chavez and Resendez on the same ticket. Some of you guys like Munguia, so maybe you just, depending on your wallet. I mean, any plus. I generally don't put two dogs on one ticket, but there's a lot of dogs this week. You know what I mean? My dog of the week is Jin Sasaki, but then on its own ticket, I got him at plus 145. I think he's almost down to even money. And then I have a dog parlay. So yeah, if you like just one, just put one. You don't have to. You don't have to tail. The last thing I ever wanted to do, guys, is talk you out of your bets. Use our live stream, use our Discord, use our Patreon as sort of a tool. That's why some of you boys call it a betting academy. It's a tool. You use the community, you ask questions, and this is why the chat wins consistently. How we feeling on Walker Sam? This is a fight right now. I don't have action yet, only because I know Sam. Emotionally, I want Sam to win based off of like knowing his story, you know, knowing him personally, everything he's overcome. But I don't want to bet with my heart. Bet with your wallet, not with your heart. So I might not bet this. And it's really, Sam's retired a couple times already. He's made, he's taken time off. He's a big dude. I know he asked for a catch weight. This fight was contractually signed at 147. And I think that both teams, Kona Walker's camp, agreed to Sam's request a couple days ago to fight, I think, at 153. So Sam, to even make 154, Sam's boiled down. He has a lot of miles on those tires, but mate, he's fun to watch. This is a fun fight. This is a fun fight to watch. My wallet is leaning Kona Walker. Like the logic in me, like where each fighter is, the logic. I don't have action on it yet. I might not play this fight, to be honest with you. What's up, Johnny? Does Fierro have a chance to win? I don't think so. I don't think so. No shade to Fierro. I think he's going to be in there tough with Oscar Duarte. I think Oscar Duarte's. There's a lot of these guys who are floating around, at 140 that are just tough nights out for anyone. He's a tough guy to deal with because you not only have to come in shape when you're fighting Oscar Duarte because of the output, but you have to have power too because you look at the Kenny Sims fight. Kenny Sims was outboxing him in spots, and Sims Jr. Hung out on the ropes a little bit too long, in my opinion. But he didn't have the power to get Duarte's respect. So if you don't have the power to get Duarte's respect, he's never gonna change a game plan. He'll never go from plan A to plan B. He doesn't have to. He's gonna stay on the front foot. He's gonna pressure you. He's gonna take control of the center, and he's gonna force you to fight off the back foot. He's gonna and the good thing for Sims, why that fight went the distance. It was a close. I think it went in their books as a split. I had it as a UD, even though I picked Sims to win. I lost that bet. Duarte, I had him winning at least. I'd have to look how I scored it, but I remember when they were calling the judges out, and one of the judges, I think, gave it to Sims. I was kind of shocked, but Sims is a good counter boxer, so he was comfortable fighting off the ropes, looking for spots, fighting off his back foot. But that's not a good optic for judges, so it's tough to win rounds that way. If Sims had a little bit more power, I felt like that fight could have gone a little bit different way. But I don't know if Fierro's that guy either. I think Duarte handles him easily. Big up, you know everything about boxing, UFC. I'm just an old head, Spirit. I'm an old head. Nobody knows everything about anything. I think one of my secret weapons is my mindset. I always look at myself every day and say there's something to learn. There's always something to learn, guys. We are like, I'm a lifelong learner. You know what I'm saying? I'm always learning new things, trying new things, developing skills. So I appreciate your support. Sup, Johnny? One more sleep to go. My pouch for the weekend is late night. Okay, so maybe you you boys will put me onto that knockout at 370 in a 10-round fight. He's headlining the card. Great fundamentals, good activity. He is, man. He is. We have these odds right here. So Erdenbot is plus 270. Kobe Abridi. Give me 1 second. This is Kobe Abridi. He's an Olympian, 18-1. He has 8 knockouts. He's never been stopped. 34 years old now, 5'5" from Barbados. Born in Barbados. Maybe. He probably hasn't been fighting the best fighters. Yeah, he's coming on 19-4, 19-24. No contest to Suleiman, accidental headbutt. He lost to Niambar. What's his best win? You know what? I think Erdenbot. Playing the knockout. So you're playing the knockout because you're looking at it as levels. Then you're thinking that Erdenbot is a level above. Let me remove that. You're thinking that Erdenbot's a level above skill wise, which I do agree with you. I think he's a high level operator. The knockout's always tough to play though on these pro box cards because, like you said, it's only a 10 rounder. Erdenbot, he's coming off 2 decision wins. He's not really a one punch guy though. So if you're thinking that it's going to be these I've played these sort of props, these knockout props before, and I've won. And then we've played these knockout props and we lost regarding stylistic matchups. Like we think he's going to be in over his head. It just happened actually. One of the main reasons why I played Sam Gilly to knockouts, and we got Sam Gilly by knockout at plus 600, is because of this exact thing. I felt like we were going to see levels, that his level was just a level or so above against Aston Brown. So I could see that. Plus 370 is not a bad play. I think, though, that even though he's from Barbados, which is a little island, Caribbean island, he's still an Olympian. You know what I mean? So having an Olympic background pedigree should mean that he knows how to at least know how to operate dangerous waters in a fight. I'm gonna just say once again, there are a lot of, I think, better props to play in terms of method of victory this weekend. So I'm not mad at it. I'm not gonna play it. I feel like this is a big moment in Jin's career. Yeah, so do I. So do I, man. And I'm a Jin Sasaki fan. I've covered Jin Sasaki. I've talked about Jin Sasaki on my channel for a couple years now. Before the Brian Norman Jr. fight, Jin Sasaki was on my radar. His only 2 losses, Andy Hiroka. You've seen how good Andy Hiroka is. Hiroka fought Gary Antoine Russell tooth and nail. That was a close fight. You know what I mean? Didn't win, didn't beat GAR, but fought GAR tough. And Sasaki's only other loss was to Brian Norman Jr., knockout of the year. And he came back and, look, I am kind of worried about in his last fight, he just stands there. You guys have seen the video. You've seen the highlight. In Sasaki's return, he didn't. He was like, you know what? I'm doing exactly what I always. I'm gonna stand there, and then he gets hit with like a 14 punch salvo, and then throws that left hook counter and knocks his opponent out. I have seen footage though. This fight camp he spent in Las Vegas, which is a good sign. He went and trained with Raleigh Romero. You go to Vegas, you're going to get great sparring. I'm interested if he took any fundamentals, if he took any coaching, all that stuff. But I think at plus 145, if ever, even he's only 24 years old too, guys. Even, if when Jin Sasaki's 30, if ever you find him in plus money on the money line, play it. Because a puncher is always going to be live. I mean, he's going to give you a heart attack. It's going to be stressful, but that's the game we play. Also, really intrigued with Sasaki versus Tanaka. Can Sasaki use his whole skill set, be more defensively responsible? He said he was. Rumor is that he said he was going to be more defensively responsible. History vault, Brady not going to win unless he outworks Erdenbot. Brady leaves his chin open. The more he tries to outwork Erdenbot, the more his chin will be there to hit. You see her. So you like the knockout too. Sneaky, sharp action. Let me look more into it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to just sit here and say that I've spent a lot of time looking at Erdenbot versus Brady. I definitely don't think Brady wins. I think Erdenbot is a level above him. Will he stop him in 30 minutes? So if you guys are into, look at the output. Do the research. Check the fights. Brady would have to fight Earnhardt like Aleem did Nakano. Speaking of Aleem, we got Aleem coming up as a plus 280 underdog against Angela Leo soon. That's a fight I've had my eyes on. Easy, Johnny. Who you got for both anyway, brothers? I got them both to win. I got Inoue beating Nakatani, and I got Takuma beating Ioka. What I see with Naoya Inoue, I think he's a level above Nakatani. I think he's better than him everywhere. I do. I think he's sharper. I think he's quicker. I think he has more power. He's bigger. He's not going to be taller, but he's fought in the heavier weight classes. It was only a couple fights ago. Junto was still fighting at 115. This is his second fight at 122. He didn't look good against Logan. I talk about it all week. I didn't like Junto's body language against Logan. I didn't like it was the first it was the fight for me that they talk about the ring is the chamber of all truths. You can be anybody you want to be outside of the ring, but the second the bell rings, the boxing ring is life's greatest lie detector. Sometimes when you see guys so dominant, and some guys will retire and be dominant. Like and what I mean is, I guess I'll use Bud Crawford as the gauge. I've watched Bud's whole career. I remember watching Bud when he was fighting at baseball stadiums in Omaha, Nebraska on Friday Night Fights on ESPN. So I never once, when he had braids, I never once saw Bud Crawford question himself. There's certain fighters I've never once, when you see a guy that has been so dominant and for the first time you see them question themselves, that tells me something. Junto was questioning himself in between rounds from the 5th round, 4th round onwards against Logan. How good is Logan? Would Logan beat Nakatani? Is Logan on that level? That's all I'm saying. I've never seen Inoue question himself. We've all seen Inoue dropped before. To be able to get hurt, dropped, pick yourself back up, and win by knockout. Inoue's a goddamn dog, dude. I'm not betting against that dude at all. What's my most confident dog of the week? Odds-wise, probably Jorge Chavez. Let's see if Jorge's still a dog. Sometimes when we post these things online, odds tend to shift. I got Jorge Chavez at plus 110 2 days ago. I shared it to the group. So Sasaki's plus 120. I grabbed him at plus 145. So they moved a bit. He's still a dog. Guys, jump on him now. He's still a dog. He's still plus money. So this is my most and I love the points. So Jorge Chavez on points at plus 170. I'm gonna do a prop. Let me write this down real quick. I'm gonna do another. I like Chavez on points here. And I'm gonna look into the Erdenbot method of victory. But right now, I love Chavez on the money line at plus money, and I like him on points at plus 170. Yeah, so the money line isn't paying. That's why all the boys are trying to get sexy with it. But guys, there are, like I said, there are a handful of fights. Guys, this is not one of these weekends to where we have to force things by getting sexy with outcomes. You know what I'm saying? Like the last few weekends, the odds have been so terrible on the money line that we've been forced to put ourselves in a position to say, will the fight end by knockout? Will it be an over, or will it be on points? There are a handful of fights this weekend where the odds are really good with underdogs and on the money line, to where if you want, you don't really have to get that cute. So my point is, why bet on Erdenbot if you're not comfortable picking the method of victory when you could bet on Takuma Inoue at, right now I think he's 47% return. It just depends on your style. You take Takuma anyway on the money line with Bilal Fawaz. You're flirting with plus money. Let's see what that looks like. I like David Whitmire here. I'm gonna put David Whitmire is gonna win this fight. So Takuma here. If you go both Inoue brothers, you're already at 85% here. Both Inoue brothers. Bilal Fawaz. This plus 142. The Inoue boys and Bilal is plus one. Guys, there are a lot of options to get plus money this weekend. You don't have to. We don't have to get too sexy with it. Inoue knockout for Fawaz decision. Conor Walker to knockout. Oh yeah, retro in the house. Shout out to retro. I do have an Inoue knockout play. I don't. I think I have Bilal Fawaz on a long parlay. I don't have action yet on the Conor Walker, but I'm probably going to. I have Oscar Duarte on a parlay, and I have Benavidez on a prop on points as well. So I do like that. Johnny, at the age of 38, why should we lay our money on Fawaz? I think he wins, but yeah, but Bilal Fawaz is the youngest 37, 38-year-old you'll ever meet. I know you're not new to the channel, so you should know the answer to this, bro. You should know the answer to this. We've been riding Bilal Fawaz for the last year and a half. Amazing story. He's the freshest, youngest 38-year-old in the history of the sport. If you don't know what I'm talking about, do your research. You should know this, though, mate. How he got blacklisted, blackballed from even boxing. How he's been in the UK since 2004, but they wouldn't give him a passport. They wouldn't give him immigration status. How in 2015, Frank Warren wanted to give him $200,000 to sign him, but he couldn't get a bank account because of migration status. And, the years kept ticking away. And he stayed in shape. And, was a good amateur, wanted to represent the UK in the Olympics, didn't have a passport, all this good stuff. And he's peaking right now. He gets Junaid Boston was a 4-1 favorite in the first fight. Starboy was supposed to win that fight. I thought Bilal won the first one, and it was called a draw. We took Bilal at plus 340 in the second one, and he won that fight. Ishmael Davis plus 300. He beat him. Bilal Fawaz is going to handle this dude. When you're looking at trends and trajectory, he's in his window. He has a short amount of time to make this boxing career work, and he's doing his best. And he could be one fight away from a world title. Johnny Prades or Jack, huge fan of both. Me too. I'm not sure yet. My heart's with Jack, but will Jack have the speed to hand and punch variability, strike variability on the feet with a guy like Prades who could elbow, use kicks, knees, very unorthodox striker in terms of shots coming at all different types of angles. The Knicks are up by 60. People are going to lose their jobs. The Knicks are beating the Hawks in Game 6 by 60. That's on their home court. That's absolutely insane. Game 6, too. The fans are already leaving. That's crazy. The third quarter just started. The Knicks are up 60. Jin by knockout, Duarte by knockout, Resendez by decision. Let's go. I got Resendez on Jin by knockout. I could see that's kind of his way of the sword. Duarte by knockout. Will he stop Fierro? Just depends on how much he pushes. And then Resendez. I got Resendez on a money line, so I'm not getting too sexy with the props. He could. Tanaka 1-6. It could happen. Anything could happen. What's your mindset on the knockout for Inoue against Nakatani? I think that Nakatani, I think they're both going to fight brave. I think that Junto is going to be the one there questioning his shots. I think Junto is going to be questioning a lot of things based off of the swelling he faced against Logan. His eye, scar tissue, that fight was only at the end of December, what? January, February, March, April, like 16 weeks ago, 15 weeks ago. They're both going to get hit a lot. It's in Japan, 60,000 people in the Superdome. I don't expect either guy to be taking any backward steps. And I think that Inoue is going to level. I think Inoue is going to remind everybody why he is on that mountain of pound for pound generational greats. I was watching the Tanaka who's fighting Sasaki, and he's always terrible with head movement. Yeah, neither guy are defensive savants. You know what I'm saying? Tanaka and Jin Sasaki, this is not going to be Pernell Whitaker or like a Paulie Spadafora or a Floyd Mayweather defensive sort of like slick fighting. You're just going to see two guys who are going to stand there and try to knock their head off, typical Japanese style. Both guys are, I think, 23, 24 years old. I'm just leaning on Sasaki's experience and power. All in on Sasaki too, still waiting to get in on books. Wow, not offering that fight. Interesting. Guys, we're about 37 minutes in. We got 70 people in here. Just like the video. Let me know what your picks are. Let me know if you have any questions. The Knicks are up by 61 points. Jin Sasaki isn't on any Vegas books. Wild. Maybe it's a good thing. Would be great to know Jamie's thoughts on Japan card. Good interview by Sean Jaitel and True School Sports. So guys can't. I don't know. I don't know any of these guys. Oh, Punch Perfect. Rest in peace to Punch Perfect's channel. Jorge Chavez on the money line. Yeah, I got Chavez on points. Oh, my bad. I got Chavez on the money line. Yeah, Whitmire is. Yeah, I didn't want to say lock. I don't like saying locks. Let's do some real quick, boys. Whitmire, Scarborough, Erdenbot. I'm trying to use fights that I haven't used yet in a parlay. Shannon Ryan. Kona. It's a lot of legs to get it's plus 113. I'm not gonna make this official. I'm just playing around right now. I think I think the next ticket I'm gonna do is a method of victory one. I have a decision parlay including Anyway Brothers, Kona Walker, Benavidez, Bilal. Yeah. Only time will tell, right? Let's see when the fights start. So the first fight is on tomorrow, Australia time at 4 a.m. But that's a Spanish card. I don't know if you guys are getting the Samuel Carmona versus Rodrigo Ramirez fight. I'm not betting on it. But that's the first fight of the weekend. And then the Pro Box card starts tomorrow at 9:45 a.m. And I did I take Erdenbot on anything yet? I do. My long parlay. You guys like Duarte by knockout? Is that what the boys are saying? I want to see what that pays. Plus 140. Duarte by knockout. I think I like Erdenbot on points. You know what? Why scared money don't make money. He's not a big puncher. Erdenbot and Duarte by knockout is plus 788. I don't hate it. I might do that just for the boys. What do you guys think? Erdenbot and Duarte by knockout plus 788. Sneaky hundo. Sneaky Hundo gets you 788 back. What do the boys think about that? Let me know. I'm gonna do it. I'm putting it in right now. Or maybe Bilal on points. You know what? What do you guys like better? I might, because if you go Bilal on points is 192, which is great. You go Erdenbot by knockout, and then you go Duarte by knockout. That's plus 1600. Let the boys be the boys. I'm locking that in. It's my I do it every week. I live stream. That's a massive plus 1600. Bilal on points, Erdenbot by knockout, Oscar by knockout. Let's go. The boys are up, baby. All right, I just made that live. Resendez versus Munguia. I'm torn. I feel like Munguia will win due to a world title being on the line, which he loses. What do you mean? It's Resendez's belt. You think that Munguia will win just because he's fighting a world champion? Yeah, Knicks are up 60, dude. Cue the Michael Irvin meme. Cue the Michael Irvin meme. Munguia by decision. Let's go. Thoughts on, yeah, I'm not betting that fight. Do you think Walker Edgington? That's where I'm kind of sore, man. Because they're both brutal. I mean, Sam is always in these like barn burner fights, and he has sustained a lot of damage. Sam's one of these guys that like after the second round, both eyes will be swollen. You know, like he could be winning after the second, and he'll have swollen eyes. He has a lot of like scar tissue on his face. He's always man. That's a fun fight. I think I'm gonna watch that fight as a fan and not bet on it. I think that's what I'm doing. The score is 103 to 52 now. That's insane. Oh, Hawks on a sneaky 10-0 run. 103 to 52. They're freaking getting that. Bell to ass. Bell to ass. JDM's high guard and the way he dips down to get in the pocket makes me think probably. And look, like I said, during the pandemic, I was working for a rock and roll label, a music label called Golden Robot Records. And there's content, and I had a podcast with the CEO, the owner of Golden Robot Records, and I pitched to Golden Robot a sort of sports agency that they funded that we did for 2 years. And that's how I was managing Lynn Sandstrom for 2 years. And we did a thing, and the whole idea was sign MMA, and at the time it was MMA fighters too. Sign up and coming MMA fighters, send them our merch, and all of their content that they do on social media, they're going to use our music. This was 2020 and 2021. I signed Jack Della Maddalena when he was fighting for a regional Australian MMA. I think it was Eternal MMA. And so when he got signed to the UFC, I was working with him, so I know Jack. I've watched his growth when he became champion. Like, so I'm kind of emotionally invested in Jack's career, just based on me being a loyalist. You know what I'm saying? So I might not bet this fight. It's a fan friendly firefight. I hope Jack wins. We'll see. Prades is a dangerous striker. The thing about a guy like Carlos Prades on his feet is that everything is instinctive to him. There's no second guessing. There's no hesitation. He's so fluent with his striking. Things just come out at awkward times. It's tough to train for a guy like that, especially if you're not a grappler. It's not like Jack's going to shoot for a double leg. Jack's going to stay on his feet. Jack does have great boxing. He has good timing on his jab, a nice backhand, very consistent with his strikes. But in MMA, man, MMA is like checkers. Anything can happen. Yeah, my book doesn't have the gin fight. Probably a good thing, guys. Don't sweat the gin fight. That thing's gonna end. That thing could end at any time. Lucero decision will be plus money. Isaac. Are we getting that, guys? Is that Isaiah? Yeah, Isaac plus money. Ishmael Flores. The decision is plus 220. The knockout's a 65% return. Damn, dude. There's so much action. Jesus. What am I? I'm going to the fights tonight, guys. Anybody in Sydney? We got Sydney Fight League tonight in Paddington. My boy, my client. He's a JSB insider. That's the best thing about our community. Through the JSB group, one of my clients I met through our group, Kane McInerney. He's the main event tonight at the Paddington RSL. It's a amateur fight league, Sydney Fight League, and he's the main event. So if you guys are in Sydney, I'm gonna be there. The fight not till a month, but do you really accept it? Yeah, man. Y'all be asking. Dude, the only reason I like Stephanie Hahn is because she beat the brakes off of Holly the first fight, and I picked Holly to win. Takuma by points on a parlay. I like it. Guys, I can't wait for these fights. I can't wait for these fights. You guys, it's exciting, dude. Best sport in the world. Best sport on earth. Guys, do me a favor, though. I really mean this because I don't want you guys chasing your bets, man. It's like there are so many fights this weekend. Be practical with your betting. Have strategy with your betting. Nobody. Some of us are going to lose this weekend. Learning how to lose is equally as important as knowing how to win. You have to learn how to lose. If you're down, just stay down. Pick your boots back up the following week and get at it again. But don't chase, man. I don't want you guys chasing. I don't want you guys tuning in and just for the betting aspect. There's some good boxing matches on. Enjoy the fights. We don't have to bet on every fight. You don't have to bet on every fight. I see this a lot with the MMA boys in our chat. The way the UFC works, the way their cards are, they literally it's like an assembly line with their fights. You get to 12 fights, one fight ends, and it's like this. And if you lose, you're looking at your betting app and you want to get action on every fight. If you find yourself needing to place a bet on every fight, that is a problem. Don't do that. Chavez again on points. I like Chavez on points. I think Jorge Chavez on points is a great bet. Jorge Chavez is an underrated guy with his boxing. Jorge Chavez, man, how he gave away the first 2 rounds against Manny in the second fight, and then watching what was happening was you'd see how the fight progressed. It was his game plan. He was predicting Manny Flores was going to fade. So, do what you have to do the first few rounds, maneuver the waters, don't get hit too much, but make Manny think that you're a level below. And then as Manny's output is high in rounds 1 and 2, round 3, cut the distance a little bit more, up your output a bit, and see if his output starts to fade. And if you start seeing his output fade in rounds 3 and 4, then you turn it on even more in rounds 5. And this is what Jorge did. And it was a beautiful thing to watch. Prediction: Simbar Kobia does Senbar versus Breedy, and does Noya get the I got Noya anyway by knockout on a prop. And I just took Erdenbot. I just gave you guys a parlay. So I gave you guys just now on this live stream with Erdenbot on it. Takume on points, Chavez on points, Walker on points. Dude, the only one I'm worried about is the Walker fight could end in knockout. because we know Sam Boyles. Sam's a big boy, dude, boiling down. I can't believe Sam signed a fight at 147. And we know that, his team asked for a catch weight, which they did. Never kind of a good sign. He has to boil down to make 53. So the fight's at 153. Who knows? He's had a lot of weight cuts in his career. He has a lot of damage. He has a lot of swelling. Scar tissue could be a factor. Conor Walker could stop him. I don't think Duarte gets the knockout, maybe a decision. None of us know anything, King. We're just riffing. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's word is gospel. If anybody in any aspect of your life says that their word is gospel, they're running a cult. My word is not gospel. I just put, nobody knows. We'll see, boys. We'll see. I do like playing a knockout prop with a guy who has high output, who's a front foot fighter who could punch. You know what I mean? I do like that. So the Duarte knockout, in my opinion, aligns with that. And this kid is hungry. Like, that's another thing about Oscar, is he wants to be a world champion. You can't underrate that or undersell that enough in terms of the determination a guy fights with. You don't have to like every fighter, but because I'm a fan of the sport and not of a fighter, I'm able to find things that I like in every fighter, if that makes sense. So I'm not a fan of fighter. I'm not a fan of one fighter. I don't hate any fighter. So I never go into this with an emotional attachment of disliking a certain fighter. But because of that, because of my love for the game in these matchups, I could find something that I like in every fighter. Even a guy who's a 10-1 dog, there's something in that I could like in him. You know what I mean? And this is I think, which helps us win a lot. Now with Oscar, we know his style, we know his story, we know where he's trending, we know what he wants to do. His big plans. The body punching, the determination he fights with. I like the knockout prop. And if it doesn't hit, I'm fine with it. At least I'm putting my money on a guy's style that translates into a knockout prop being live. The one I'm worried about is the Erdenbot one, because he really doesn't. He's not a guy with a lot of knockouts. But I'm playing the knockout prop based on odds. And sometimes when you see these levels, when you get these matchups and one guy's a level above, knockouts do tend to show. This is why guys, as they progress through their career, early days, that's where they get all their knockouts. I mean, Devin Haney on his record, he has, I think Devin's 32, 33-0 with 15 knockouts, but he hasn't had a knockout, I think, since 2019. And all those 15 knockouts happened in like Tijuana and on his come up. Of his last 18 fights, he hasn't had a knock. So, something crazy like that. I think 2019 might have been his last knockout. As you raise the level of competition, it's tougher and tougher to knock guys out. These are grown men. Both men are alphas who are trying to knock each other out. But when the levels aren't aligned, and this is why how you move a fighter is really important. If you're a promoter, a manager, a coach, you got to know it's a skill in itself. You got to know how to move your guy. I think, honestly, the biggest upset this week is going to be Zurdo. Look, mate, I brought this up in the Discord. I brought this up in the Discord on Monday. I just laid it out for everybody, and I brought it up on the live stream. I'm sure we could find the soundbite. Now, I have Benavidez winning this fight. I have Benavidez on points winning this fight. But I did say, I think this fight is going to be a lot closer than people think. Watch my breakdown. Guys, if you haven't seen my fight prediction playlist this week, you guys have 3 Statstone live videos. The Inoue Nakatani fight, Benny versus Zurdo. And then yesterday I uploaded Armando Resendez versus Jaime Munguia. Go to the fight prediction playlist, Statstone Live. You can see my reasoning for all of this. Firo looks weight drained. Tough call. Yeah. Damn, dude. We're almost there, boys. Dude, by now the boots should be dug in pretty much. I'm still open-minded enough to still put action, which I just did for the chat. But by now, Friday morning, Friday early afternoon, Sydney time, I'm all in on all my picks. I'm all in on it. You know what I'm saying? 25 pounds is a lot. No, man. This is his first fight at cruiser. He had 3 fights at light heavy, and then He was a boiled down super middleweight. He fought his whole career weight bullying people at 168. This is a big dude, man, Benavidez. He was boiling himself down for all those years, spamming a Canelo fight. I told you, I said this. I'm so glad he never got that fight because the last thing I ever want to do was see a 5'7", tiny ass super middleweight in Canelo fight a weight drained, boiled down, younger, big ass Benavidez at 168. I'm glad he never got that fight. I don't like the way Benavidez went about it. I don't like the trolling. I don't like any of that. So, and I'm not a fan of either guy. I didn't like the politics of it. I'm happy he never got that. And then we saw when he went up to light heavy, he fights Vostick, doesn't get the knockout. People thought he was going to get the knockout. His second fight at light heavy, won on points against Morrell. Kind of got stunned in an exchange. The last half of that fight was really entertaining, believe it or not. And then he finally finds his stoppage at light heavy against Anthony Yard, right? In a fight in which is the one that we remember. He looked great, hand speed. Anthony Yard stayed on the ropes, looked like a hollow shell of himself. And now he moves up again. You know, super middleweight's 168 pounds. Cruiserweight's 200 pounds. You got to ask yourself, though, he probably walks at 220. The weight he was cutting to make super middle was absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. That kid should have never been fighting in super middle. So maybe he will be more energized. Maybe he will have. He won't be looking like a fitness model. I mean, Benavidez, even 168, never wasn't looking like a fitness model. You know what I mean? Some guys come in and they're just like, the divisions are like 135, 140, 147. Guys look like they're etched in stone. They're literally got the weight cuts perfectly. Benavidez was never that guy. So when you're looking at him against Zurdo is a big dude, man. He's never been dropped, never been stopped, never really been hurt. In 2022, he fought Bivol. You guys were saying he got hurt. He got wobbled, but he wasn't in danger. He lost that fight. It's his only loss. And he's a big boy. I think he turns 35 in June. He has better feet than Benavidez. Benavidez's feet are terrible. I'm sorry. You can't do everything great. You know what I mean? He's known for his world-class hand speed, volume, pressure, and he's a dog. I became a David Benavidez fan in his last three fights at light heavy, just from his determination and willingness to put himself in danger. Even watching what he did to Yard, I was like, dude, somebody's gonna knock Benavidez out. Like you can't get away with standing in front of guys who are big with your hands down, chin up, spamming shoe shining. Somebody's gonna make you pay. Maybe not, maybe they won't, but maybe he's gonna run across a guy who is baiting him to do that and is waiting on that check hook or waiting on that. I can see it. Is Zurdo gonna be that guy? I don't think so. But I think there will be questions. I think when this fight goes to the 5th or 6th rounds, mid to late rounds, Zurdo's the one who's comfortable in that frame. Yeah, he came up from 68, but he's fought this recent version at cruiser. And the later this fight goes, man, Benavidez is going to have to answer some questions. The new frame, how's it going to feel? This extra weight in this new weight class, how's it going to feel? Against a big dude, how's it going to feel leaning on you? What's his volume going to be like? He's not a power puncher. He's not a big puncher. So people saying Benny's going to win by knockout, I don't know. I think it's going to be a close fight. Duarte is definitely a dog, so the knockout proud sounds appealing. Bilal definitely on points. Fawaz on points is safer. What are your thoughts on Isaac Lucero by decision? Johnny, did you ever go to a Box Expo event when you lived in Vegas? No. No, man. That was a different version of me. 2011, 2012 in Vegas, I was a bartender at nightclubs. So I was going to like SexCon. I was going to the sex expo. I was crazy out there, boy. We all got to evolve, boys. We all have to evolve. Fierro survived 24 rounds with Pitbull. The knockout is risky. Yeah, but there's tread now, right? There's tread. And Pitbull's not a big puncher. I predict we all. Let's go, Mosby. We up. Mosby, we up. Guys, we're an hour in. There's 72 to 82 you in here. Can we hit a thumbs up? It'd be nice one day to end the live and be like, oh, we peaked at 82, and then to see 82 likes. But I know it doesn't work that way. What about Yuto Moriaki? And I talked about this. History Vault. Aren't you in the Discord, bro? We talked about this. For the people taking betting by knockout, round 7 to 12 plus 550 is the play. I'm taking decision now. If the fight is at 153, Walker is a small 47, so the power would definitely be it. Yeah, but it's not that simple, though, Julius. It's not that cut and dry. It's not like we're just looking at the variables of Edgington being the bigger guy who's cutting weight, who signs the fight at 47. You got to think about why did he sign at 47, and then why is he asking for a catch weight, an extra 6 pounds? That why is a big reason. I hope Sam wins. I hope Sam wins, man. I'm not betting on the fight. Do you think Sakai gets the knockout? Not on my radar, brother. Look, I'm trying new strategies for my own self this week to where if I don't like a fight, if a fight doesn't interest me in terms of the odds or the stylistic matchup, I'm not wasting time on it. So there's just so many fights that have caught my eye that this isn't one on my radar. Walker has no power punches on his power. Yeah, so I'm talking about a worn down volume stoppage. I'm not talking about Sam getting knocked down or knocked out, but like fading and being like a wet noodle and on the ropes and getting hit too much and Conor Walker flurrying, and then the ref does a UK special. I'm taking Lucero by decision. I like that. Get it, brother. Let's go. Dude, Sammy Boy can win by knockout. If Sammy Boy comes in, recharge, and wait to the weigh-ins, guys. Sam Edgington, Conor Walker, wait to the weigh-ins. Let's see what Sam looks like. The knockout is live. The kid's big, man. What are your thoughts on my UFC picks? I love. It's a 3-legger. It pays plus 286, I think. I love my UFC picks. I think I'm going to do one more. I'll let you guys know. Ernabot, Benavidez, Inoue, Resendez over Munguia, upset alert. I think, yeah. I think he's on upset alert. They fought already. If Zurdo beats everyone will fight, maybe even Canelo. Zurdo looked off in his last fight, and it's Zurdo. Guys, I gotta run. You guys are beasts. I gotta run. I'll see you guys soon. I gotta coach. Stay up, boys.